Here in the UK and in a lot of other traditionally wealthy countries, we are seeing the quality of most people's lives actually drop. People are working harder and harder to make ends meet, and it's becoming more difficult to actually have a decent life. A lot of people are now looking for an escape in somewhere where they feel like they can get a better quality of life. Somewhere hot, somewhere sunny, somewhere that may not be any of those things, but may just have the style of life and a more chilled, laid-back approach, something that they value much more than any job or career can provide. But here is the problem with this argument. Everybody is all on the idea of this, but they don't understand the consequences. And this is what I mean. Is moving abroad a good idea? Very possibly. It's very possibly a good idea. People say that you should stay where you live and try and improve things. The fact of the matter is some people just don't gel with their country or their region or their place in their city. For some people, it is going to be the big move that's going to separate them from their peers, their friends, and genuinely make them feel like they've self-actualized in their life. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. The thing that is actually quite dangerous is the way that a lot of people go about this, a way that's actually going to lead to more misery. And today I want to speak about a way that we can mitigate or minimize our chances of failing in this process and actually making the concept of a life in a cheaper place or a better place work out. So the first thing that we need to understand and acknowledge in terms of why it may be a bad idea to think about moving straight away is you're probably looking at the process all wrong. You see, a lot of people start to think about moving abroad, and here's the first thing that they talk about. Everyone goes straight to speaking about what visas they can get in this country or which country's got the cheapest taxes or the lowest taxes. But this is the wrong way of thinking, because first things first, you are at the very, very first step of this. If you don't have any money, it doesn't matter what the visa price is or how easy it is to obtain citizenship or residency, you are unable to get there. From the UK, at least, from Manchester Airport, flights for me to Dubai or Malaysia or Thailand or the Philippines are going to be probably over £1,000. So me or you, any of us, thinking about which country we'd move to and why, whilst not having the money to facilitate that, is going to be about as clever as me thinking about whether I'd have my Ferrari in black or red when I don't have any money to actually buy one. We're thinking far too far down the process. Step one, in my opinion, is simply going to be about getting the money to actually facilitate this journey. And this is where a lot of people start to really question this, because a lot of people say, well, how do I get money? Because a lot of people's way of getting money is through work. A lot of people obviously go to work, do a 9 to 5 or some form of fixed job where they have set hours in a set place, and that is unsustainable for moving abroad, obviously. And most people's way of getting past this seems to be that they amass a nice amount of savings, a decent amount to have a life in these places, maybe 15, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds. And even if you're living in these really cheap countries, that's going to run out at some point. And what I've seen happen to friends and people that I've known who've gone abroad or gone to these places, whether it is places just like Spain or Italy or places in Asia, they come back and they're actually worse in a way because they've come back. They've realised that a life on a beach in Thailand or just having a cheaper or even more laid back life, even if it's the same price in somewhere like Italy, or even a more expensive life in America, is more suited to them. But they've come back because their savings have run out. And that leaves people worse off because they've now realised that the system that they are now stuck in is something that they don't like, and they've just got to do the same. Grind it out here for 2 to 3 years and then go back for 2 to 3 years. Then keep in this cycle. That's going to be probably one of the worst things for people looking to make a long-term move, because you're always here and there. You know, friendships and connections in each respective place may get strained after 2 to 3 years, and you may not know whether you're coming or going, basically. The escape to this is an online income, undeniably. Now, I've got a video coming out on this, on what I think the best online incomes to beat the cost of living crisis is, and everything will be explained in that. I think there is no set one, I think it's a number of things, but I'm going to obviously speak about that in that episode. The point is this. It's not about whether moving is a good or bad idea. That's far too far down the process for a lot of people. If you move to Thailand, the only reason why you think it's cheap is because you're living with USD or GBP or euros, right? Strong currencies that a lot of countries use, where you get paid a lot of them. Fast forward to a point where you have to work maybe a teaching job or on a beach resort in Thailand, and it's very likely that you do not get paid in British wages or American or Australian or German. you're obviously going to get what the locals get, which is going to make you respectively equally poor. So then life is probably not going to be as magical as it seems, and this is where people go wrong. You need an online income. You definitely need an online income. And not enough people acknowledge this because it's a concept that we like to overly romanticize. You know, I'm going to move to a beach in Thailand and it's going to be awesome. Or I'm going to Bali. With what money, right? If it's running out, then it's not sustainable. I am all about sustainability because that is what allows you to set roots. If you can't set roots in your place, i.e. get established and stay, if that's what you intend to do, then you're on an extended holiday. So this is where I think people go wrong. If you can set up some roots and have the money to do so, you'll be laughing, right? You can be rich in these places. Online income is the answer. Saving up for your job means that your money will run out. If you've got a finite amount of money, no matter what country you're in, your problem will be the same. You will eventually end up poor. You need to find a way to increase your income and actually get better off in these countries. And that is where the internet comes in so handy, because for the first time in human history, your average person, me and you, can make, GBP, USD, Euro online somewhere else. It's a great thing. And then people don't know what the best online income is. And, these things must go hand in hand. I know being a business owner or an entrepreneur is not for everyone, but that's not the only online income. I know of people who have the opportunity, even if they do stay living in the UK, they have jobs where they are completely remote. They, in theory, could just go and live on a beach. There are jobs that provide that opportunity too, but it has to be something online. And your job is basically to find out what that is. Now, in a world where we are all focused on the end goal, we're completely losing sight to the mission. The end goal is living on the beach. The start point is living in the city in winter where all the leaves are off the trees and it's cold and I've got a coat on because I'm freezing. That's the reality of life. Focus on the reality first and improve that. So, I'm going to explain more in my video about making money online, but here's the thing, the cost of living crisis, the only way to beat it is not just to move, not just to think about moving, because again, if all of the visas in the world were not a thing, and you could just move abroad without any restrictions on your movement, on your residency, you still don't have the means to do so. We might say money's not everything, but it is a lot, good spirit and will doesn't buy plane tickets, good spirit and will doesn't buy food. Good spirit and will makes it easy to be motivated, but not actually any easier to live based on tangible means. So a lot of you guys need to focus on this. You're all focused on moving away, and I completely get that. I see why a lot of people want to do that. I'm actually contemplating it myself, but that's why I'm building an online business. Because if you have an online income stream, or 2 or 3, or ideally 4 or 5, where you have maybe 4 businesses or 5 businesses that make £1,000, £2,000, £3,000, euros, dollars a month, you're laughing, right? You've kind of got an empire there. That is the real move that's going to set you apart. That's a real move that's going to facilitate your dreams. And if you are confident enough to build that or create that, you'll be laughing. But that is the way to beat the cost of living crisis and move abroad. That's the best way to do it, in my humble opinion.